So there is a big discourse happening around Twitter right now around AI generated imagery for art references. And I am curious about your thoughts, and I would love to hear it in respect with the comment section, but I want to delve into what people are saying about this. Now, before I get into this, first off, don't send hate to any parties involved, but secondly, I will censor literally everybody because this is a very controversial topic and people were like getting attacked over what they say. And again, at the end of the day, we all have our own opinions, but telling people to go do bad things to themselves is never okay. Controversial topic, AI. I think most artists despise AI, and this is pretty much clear. But we shouldn't treat the people who use AI like they are also slop. They might just be uneducated on how much trouble AI causes. Can we try something like this next time, artists? So this is a conversation between them and a client in VGen, which VGen is a platform in which you can receive commissions and commission artists. So a AI generated reference was sent. It is of a character with kind of like long, wispy brown hair. They're wearing a baseball cap tilted to the side and a black hoodie. They have green eyes and gauges. And the client says, "Hi, I like your art and was wondering if you would be able to draw this character as a chibi icon." And the artist responds, "Hey, very sadly, you will find that most artists despise AI generated characters and your image appears to be AI generated. However, if you redraw that image using your own ideas, I don't care how badly drawn it is. As long as it's still human, I can accept it. I hope it helps." And in the comments, OP adds extra context. They answered with thanks, will do, and was very nice overall. I just want to express that many people remain ignorant of AI stealing from artists, so it's our job as the people who know how to teach them about this. So there are a lot of conversations around this, and a lot of people have their thoughts on this situation. There is a vote of people essentially that are like, yeah, I completely agree with you. Gen AI is really, really bad. And that this is like a nice middle ground to educate people who are unaware. So a commenter says he came to an artist because he wanted human art. He could have plugged that into a prompt, but he didn't. If he could draw, he would have. You have sold him something to replace the AI image. All this did was teach him to keep using AI because artists won't even look. And OP says, I truly don't think I'm being disrespectful. He could have tried, and I mentioned I didn't care about how bad the drawing is as long as it's human. I hope you understand that. Another person said they could have easily used AI to get their work done in seconds for free, yet they are here commissioning you, the artist in the screenshot, spending their money. Show some respect. It's just a reference. Don't be so overdramatic. And the artist says, I do agree with the first half, but I truly don't think I'm being overdramatic. You are an artist too. How would you feel if your art was scalped for somebody else's reference? I just think it's disrespectful for the artist whose work is stolen to create this reference. Another person said, this is extremely cordial and I don't understand how the hell people are treating you like you are the unreasonable one in this interaction. Another person said, in the most respectful way, doesn't it matter that you have an accurate reference in the vision the client wants? I would appreciate references of any kind as long as I can accurately understand what the client wants. We don't ask the client to do what they're paying us for. So in this sense, they mean draw. And OP says it's true, but I just thought that having an image might have traces of hard work other artists have put into. However, you do have a point. I just want a reference that isn't stolen from others' hard work. I'll try to keep this in mind though, thank you. And another person said, you make a better impression by just showing people how much better it is to interact with a real human. Make them want to employ more real artists in the future. They are also already making a big step away from AI. We have to put our personal biases aside like professionals. And OP says, most people are actually criticizing me for being unprofessional. And another person said, probably used AI to ensure the reference photo had the details right. Pic crew is limited, and I've tried it. If you're a bad artist, the reference isn't going to look anything like how you want the commission to be done. I hate AI, but if somebody used an AI reference for real art, I would take it. And another person said, how about sending the prompt they sent to AI to me instead? But it is true most people don't realize that there are many more alternatives. I'm sending a message to that client right now to explain it. And I mean, to that, I completely agree, right? First off, a lot of artists, really talented artists, a lot of them can work off the shittiest, most garbage drawing you give them. You can give them the most cooked stick figures ever and then be like, yeah, I want brown hair, green eyes, and gauges and a hat. And the artist is going to be able to whip you up something magical. It can look absolutely disastrous, but that's the artist's job, to take your vision and your ideas and put it onto paper. And of course, you know, details can be refined through sketching and the art process. The artist will send you a sketch and then you'll be like, you know, I actually wanted like this for bangs instead. You know, can you do that? And I also do think like words are a big one as well. I don't do commissions right now, but I've done them in the past. And a lot of times, like, I just go off of what you tell me. So if you're like, yo, I want like long bangs, fluffy hair to the eyes, brown hair, I want black gauges, maybe like, I don't know, 10 millimeter gauges, this, that, and a black hat with Japanese text on it. As the artist, it's my job to take what you tell me and then I'll whip up a sketch and give it to you. And then from there, we can work for it, you know? So I can see how the client might think AI is the only option, but I truly implore you, there are many more options beyond just generating an image to use as a reference photo. You can pull an image of like an actor and you really like their hair or something, or a anime character and like, yeah, I like this hair, but fluffier. Because I completely agree with the commenter's point. The AI reference image came from somewhere, right? Either they generated it, in that case, it needs a prompt, or you can look at an image and like describe it. There are other artists on the internet that have the sentiment essentially that they will not turn down an AI reference. And their sentiment essentially is, hey, even if you use an AI reference, at the end of the day, you're coming to me, a human artist, to go and draw and make you artwork. So this means that you're getting human artwork instead of generating an image using AI. So even if one person does that, that's still better, and I'll take it. Now, within that sentiment, there's a lot of people that are very, very split. So there is one side within this sentiment that essentially is like, yo, I do not agree with you at all, because regardless, AI is harming the environment and it is stealing from artists. So it is still involved in the art process in any way, shape, or form, even though you're receiving it as a reference. And there is another boat of people that agree with this sentiment, essentially like, hey, even though there is an AI generated reference, at the end of the day, it is still employing a human artist and they are not resorting to AI to get more images. So at least we're nipping it in the bud. There is a third sentiment, essentially, of people who use AI references. And they're like, yo, I found this image online. I didn't know it was AI, or I didn't generate it and it's already an AI image that is in circulation. So am I really causing any harm if I'm using an already existing image? There's another boat of people on the internet that are completely against AI generated images, essentially with the sentiment like, hey, you should know better at this point, and you should know that AI is harming the environment and it's really bad. It's not our job as artists to teach you all of this information that basically should be publicly available at this point. There is a final sentiment, a group of people that believe that refusing an AI generated image as a reference is actually backwards thinking. Because if you are an artist and this person, even though they generated a reference image, right, is coming to you for a commission, they're looking to commission you, a human artist. And if you deny them, then you're essentially kind of forcing them to use Gen AI. That's what these people think, right? They came to you because they didn't know how to make art. And because the human artist, you, is rejecting it, then they're kind of cornered into having no better option. And the final thing is there's a lot of like AI bros on the internet that are kind of harping on this, being like, this is why I never want to work with human artists again, because you human artists are annoying and you guys suck and you guys just make a lot of work for us for no reason. And this is why I use AI, because it's faster, it's easier, blah, 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 blah. Which I would also argue that faster and easier doesn't always mean better. And there are a lot of things that are faster and easier. Like, it is the fast way for me to get $1,000 is to scam somebody from it. Doesn't mean I should be doing that. So within this discourse, I'm curious about what you guys feel. And again, leave the comments with respect in the comment section down below. I think it's a multifaceted issue, right? Because as a client, if you are commissioning for artwork, there is more than just AI references. How do you think people got commissions up until the ripe old year of 2021 when Gen AI became popular? They used their words, they put together Pinterest boards, they put together images and other reference photos of artwork they liked and was like, oh, I like the eyes here and I like the hair here. Can you give me some in between? And it's the artist's job to bring your vision to life. So I think the idea that AI generated references is the only way to go is a very limited way of thinking. And again, people have gotten beautiful artwork up until 2021 without using AI. So it's not necessary at all in the commissioning process. If you are an artist and somebody comes to you with an AI generated reference image, I mean, it does kind of mean that AI is used in your art process no matter what. And you're entitled to want to be as open-minded or as like, hey, I don't want to deal with this at all as you would like. As the artist, you're allowed to deny commissions for whatever you want. I won't necessarily fault you. At the end of the day, in this day and age for artists, it's hard to get commissions. And some people were talking about that online. And people were saying like, hey, I don't want to accept AI generated references, but within these last couple of years, I kind of had to because it's hard to get commissions. I'm not going to fault you for that. Ideally, you don't have to. Ideally, you're in a position to decline if you don't want to. But there is a privilege in being able to turn down work that not everybody has. There was a point that another user on Twitter had made that I also thought was very interesting. And their point is, if you're an artist, maybe you should make it public or put it somewhere somewhere in your commission page that you don't accept AI generated references. That way, it kind of avoids this tricky conversation in the first place, because if somebody's looking to commission you, they know what your stance is. So, again, I'm curious about your thoughts at the end of the day, and please be respectful. Don't send hate or bully any parties. And with that, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. It's a little bit of a shorter one because I just wanted to not include too many names because this was a heated conversation on Twitter. I have an Etsy shop. I also have a coffee with free resources for content creators. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch y'all there or in another video. Peace.